Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to 365. Oh, that's the number of days in a year, isn't it? Coincidentally, 365. That's the. So if we did an episode of this one a day for a year, this would be the 31st of December. Congratulations, WP builds
If
this
you
week.
live that long.
Yeah. No, nobody wants that. Once a week is more than sufficient. Anyway, sorry about last week. The show was meant to happen, but I had to pull it because there was technical gremlins, and I got a few emails for people who were sort of questioning what was going on, and this platform just didn't work basically, and I don't really have a backup. So if anything goes wrong and it's catastrophic like that, reached out to support, and they were very apologetic, but all seems to be working this week. So here we are. We're going to chat a little bit about the WordPress stuff that's gone on this week. There's lots about AI, quite a lot about community and things like that. But in order to make it more interesting and not just me blathering on for 90 minutes, I have invited a bunch of panelists. And over there, let me get this right. Yeah, there we are. Down there in the corner is Michelle Frechette, the co-host for today. How are you doing, Michelle?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. I've got to make a big special thanks to Michelle because yesterday I was out doing family things, and during the course of the day, Taco, who was going to be on the show, and I think I sent a few tweets out last week to that effect, he was unable to make it because of family commitments and bits and pieces like that. And Michelle stepped up and said that she would come on. So I'm enormously grateful to you for doing that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it. So let's learn a little bit more about Michelle. Michelle Frechette is the Executive Director of Post Status. And in addition to her work at Post Status, Michelle is the podcast barista at WP Coffee Talk, co-founder of Underrepresented in Tech, creator of WP Speakers, creator of WP Career Pages, co-founder of Sponsor Me WP, and also Speed Network Online. She's an author, influencer, and frequent organizer and speaker at WordPress and other tech events. She lives outside Rochester, New York, where she's an avid photographer of nature. You can find out more at the one URL, which is meetmichelle.online. Thank you for joining us at such late notice. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, next one on my list, just going down the list, is Marc. Marc over there for the first time. He's got a nice hat on. I appreciate the hat wearing. That's nice.
I want to be like Nathan.
Yes, well, no, you don't. That's very kind of you. Marc's joined us on many, many occasions. It's very nice having Marc on. He is a marketing lead and partnership manager over at Main WP, which is the best self-hosted WordPress management dashboard trusted by so many in our community. He's been part of the WordPress community for years, helping agencies work smarter and occasionally convincing them that marketing doesn't have to be a bad thing. Do you know what? It's kind of curious that marketing and the WordPress community, like you kind of wish that they would go hand in hand, but there's a lot of people in our space for whom marketing is kind of their nemesis. I don't know if that rings well. Yeah,
I think that's true. I think it's true in any industry because it's a matter of you're in business to make money. At least that's the assumption, and of course, marketing costs money. So it already starts off, on the wrong foot until So yeah,
I think there's something particular about an open source community as well, though, that kind of
I
think the ethics could easily be misaligned.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting tightrope that our community have had to tread with things like sponsoring events and stuff. Anyway, we'll get on to more about that in a moment. Thank you for joining us, Marc. Really appreciate it. And it's always stupid o'clock where Marc is. So
it is stupid o'clock. It is stupid o'clock. Gina, my partner, she hates the days I have to get up this early. She just absolutely hates it.
I am so grateful. I really appreciate it.
Shout out to Gina. I'm going to shout out to Gina right now, even though she doesn't watch the show because she is hopefully asleep right now. I want her to know how much I appreciate her good sportsmanship with me getting up, waking up the dogs, making the cat meow, doing all the things in the morning, dropping dishes in the kitchen, all that stuff when I'm trying to stumble around in the dark to get here. So
well, I am also grateful for the allowance that has been afforded for you to come onto the show by getting up early and waking up the dogs and causing a fuss in the house. I appreciate it. Did you say
it's
Gina?
All for you, Nathan.
Is it Gina?
Gina, yes,
Well, Gina,
absolutely.
thank
Yes.
you. Me, appreciate
Okay.
appreciate you.
I'm going to clip this and I'm going to send it to her later.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
She won't know which one of us is which because we're both, with the hats. Oh
No,
no.
I'm not wearing glasses. I'll say I'm the one without glasses.
Okay, without the glasses.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so thank you, and then we've got Rhys Wynne just beneath us there. How you doing, Rhys?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, so Rhys has been on the show quite a few times now as well, so we're all old hands here. So Rhys Wynne is a Welsh freelance and WordPress developer living in northwest of England. He co-organises the Manchester WordPress user group, writes WordPress plugins and speaks at events. He also tends to focus on performance, SEO and general back-end WordPress and WooCommerce development for small and medium-sized businesses and charities. You can find his WordPress services, newsletter and plugins at Rhys, and I'm going to spell it out so that you know. It's DWINRHYS.com.
Thank you. Thank you, Nathan.
That's okay. .com, or find his less focused ramblings and links to whatever social profiles are popular at Rhys, RHYS. .wales, like the country, not the animal. WALES, Rhys.wales. So that is our panel. That's who are going to be with us today. However, an addendum to that is that you too can kind of be part of the panel, I suppose, in a way, by putting a comment in. If you want to drop us a comment, it kind of keeps the show going. If there's anything, if you hear something come out of one of our mouths and you think, oh, I'd like to add something to that, or disagree with that, or agree with that, feel free, write us a comment. And the best place to do that is over on our WP Builds live page. I realize that you may be watching this on some other platform like X or LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever. They don't allow us to have the comments come through. So if you write a comment underneath it, it'll just be locked into that platform and it won't be shared to us. And I've got no time really to go around on all the platforms and consume all the bits and pieces. So go to this URL instead, and it is wpbuilds.com/live. There you go, wpbuilds.com/live. Brilliant. Look at that. Without even prompting, Rhys is on it. And you'll see a little box on the right. It's YouTube comments, so you have to be logged into a Google account if you want to use that. However, lurking at the top right of the window with the video in it is a little black button that says live chat. You can click on that if you like. And in that way, you don't need to be logged into anything. You can just type into that and it'll ask you for your name and that's all. And you can start tapping away. And a few people have done that. Thank you for joining us. So we've got James. James is joining us. He says, good morning. And as is so often the case with the show, it begins with the weather. I mean, I live in the UK, so I think Rhys and I can basically agree. It's going to be bleak. Oh, look out the window. It is bleak. It's grey and about 7 degrees centigrade, something like that.
Lancashire is full on Lancashire
today. You have the same as me. Current temperature in Boston apparently is 15 degrees, so 9 degrees centigrade. I'm not jealous. That's too cold. Whoever this is, Always Open Design, I suppose that reads as. Always Open Design says -3 in Jamestown. Is that NY? Does that stand for New York State? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, whoever you may be. Marcus Burnett, he's with us as well.
That's Emily.
Hey, Emily, is it? Emily, you know Emily.
Yeah, I think it's
thank
Emily.
you, Emily, for joining us. Appreciate that. It's been too long since this week in WordPress. Lovely to see you all. Yeah, we missed the whole week.
That's crazy.
Too long. And Michelle Frechette, whoever she may be, says, oh, it's -15 degrees. Oh, that's brutal. -15 where she is, but at least it's sunny over the 3 feet of snow we've accumulated. 3 feet!
Oh, God.
Yeah, when you drive down the roads, you feel like you're in the luge because the sides of the road are like so high up that you have to inch forward to be able to see to make a turn around the corner.
Wow.
A little scary.
Wow.
Yeah. I was saying on a previous show that we because we're at that part of the world where we neither get much snow or basically we hardly get any snow. And when we do get, it comes for a little bit and it goes away and it's a few inches. We don't invest in the infrastructure to make stuff go away, like in snow plows and all that. So when we get as like 2 millimeters of snow, everything just stops.
We're like, stay home.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it was -2 degrees when I went out yesterday morning for breakfast and snowing copiously.
Yeah, okay. Marcus is kindly furnishing us with his. He's got. Oh, Of course, he's in Florida, the home of the alligator, we found out. Yeah. 12 degrees centigrade on his usual morning walk. I actually saw a picture of your walk the other day, Marcus. I don't know if that's a typical thing that you do, but I saw a picture of like an empty tree-lined boulevard or something into the distance. And
that was a pretty picture, wasn't it?
Yeah, how nice.
I have to ask Marcus if he's carrying around any pocket meat, though.
Oh, yes. Well, that was the whole thing last time, wasn't it? We got into pocket meat. What the heck was that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was in the context of alligators, wasn't it?
It was.
No, we're not doing that again. Not going down the alligator.
Oh, come on. You got to bring up the old jokes, Nathan.
So, no, we're not. We're not doing it. Hello, beautiful people. That's too kind. Who is it? Who is the webinar again? I forgot. Oh, I'm so sorry. But whoever you are, you're very kind. That's really lovely of you. Yeah. And Brett saying it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit in Wisconsin. Okay. And one last one. So this is, who did you say this was? Did you say Emma or something?
It is Emily.
Emily.
Yes.
Saying
she confirmed it in the notes,
ski down the sidewalk where they are. Oh, I suppose that's we don't have that luxury. Right, well, let's get on to the WordPressy stuff, shall we? I'll raise the screen. Please keep the comments coming. It's really nice. It's lovely to have them, and I'll raise as many on the screen as I can. But let's make a start. So this is us, bit of promotional stuff before we begin. WP Builds, we release a podcast on a Thursday. The podcast can be found in our little archive section, which is right here. And this week, I never do ones about podcasting, but this week I managed to steer it around to actually making content on a WordPress website in the podcasting space, which is really nice. I was chatting to Seth Goldstein, whose whole thing is podcasting and WordPress, and he's got a business around podcast mastery, it's called. So that's a really interesting conversation. If you want to get involved in that, click on that link. 455 was the episode there. And you can see there's a little bit more. I write a little bit about each of the posts that are coming up. So the other thing to mention is that if you want to keep updated, just put your email address in this little box, click subscribe, and we'll send you an email when we produce this, what we're doing now, and also that podcast episode as well. Okay, there we go. So the next thing to say then is that we allow the guests to drop in any sort of articles that they've been perusing over the last 5, 6, 7 days, something like that. And if they've got anything they want to self-promote as well, they can. And Michelle Fschert, she's the first one up. We are looking at Underrepresented in Tech, which I know is your website. This one's called We're Celebrating International Women's Day Live. Tell us more, Michelle.
Yeah, so this year we decided instead of just talking about women, we want to introduce women from the tech field during an 8-hour live stream. You can register via Eventbrite. You'll get the reminders and it'll add to your calendar. And we're going to be able to talk to 15 women. So if you scroll down a little bit, any women in tech who are interested in being interviewed during that 8 hours can fill out that form. We are giving... we're trying to fill out around the world. So we're hoping it's not all US based. So It's not an automatic that you're in. We are going to evaluate and make sure that we can cover, several different continents and make sure that we're introducing people from around the world on International Women's Day.
Nice. So forgive me, I'm not too sure.
It's on March 8th. Yeah,
there you go. It's Sunday, March the 8th. Gosh, that's quite a commitment. 8 hours. Is that non-stop, or is that you interspersing that with breaks and things, or are you just going right the way through?
We're going to go right through, but we'll be able to take breaks I may interview somebody while Sama is off having, some coffee and lunch, and then the next one she may interview without me. Okay. And most of them we'll do together, though. So. Yeah,
well, that's really nice. So if you fulfill the categories there, you can go and fill out the form. It's underrepresentedintech.com/IWD26, so International Women's Day 26. And obviously you're on the lookout for some people, and there's a few bits and pieces to fill out.
And they don't even have to be WordPress, because we encompass more than WordPress. It's
right,
and it's underrepresented in tech. It isn't underrepresented in WordPress. So
yes, good point. So the webinar is saying he likes the initiative, thinks that's a great initiative, and I love that. Thank you, Jimmy. Well. And Taco says, thanks for covering me today, and he's here. We should smuggle him in somehow, shouldn't we?
You're welcome, Taco.
Yeah, that's really kind.
If you want your seat back, let me know.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so there was Michelle's bit. I've given you the URL, but I'll drop it into the show notes if you wish to see that. And then Rhys.
Can I just add that men should watch this too? It isn't an event just for women. It's an event for everybody to take part in and learn about the women who are in technology. So I encourage men to tune in, register to watch the event as well. Thank you.
Women on the screen, I guess, is who you're after, though.
Yes.
They're the people.
Women on the screen and everybody watching.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's nice and clear. Thank you. I'll drop that into the show notes, like I said. Okay, now we've got 3 pieces which were popped in by Rhys, and the first one is from a UK WordPress developer and pizza shop owner, I think is fair to say.
He's in the comments today, too.
And it's in the comments as well. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Hi, Elliot.
Is he? Where is he? Where's his comments?
He was in there. He said hello. And he's been on an amazing vacation, according to his TikTok.
Yeah, he went to Bali, and I'm quite
beautiful.
jealous of anybody that goes to Bali. Okay, anyway, we've got this on the screen. This came from Rhys. Rhys, why did you pick this piece called "Rethinking Where I Publish My Content"?
I love this. I thought this was superb, and it was kind of like it gave me a lot of thoughts that I'm happening. So for context, he was on holiday in Bali, and he wrote this blog post after he got back. He also has done a video on it where he basically says everything that I took, every single photo that I took, and if I uploaded it to social media, eventually it was there to be forgotten. Like the TikTok would disappear, the Instagram reels would stay for a day. If you get posted on Facebook or X, it would eventually drop down the feed. So then he kind of talks about, well, actually, I should publish this on my own blog, kind of thing, and so that it stays a little bit longer. And this is something I was reading it, and then I've been trying to blog a little bit more on my own personal blog as well, and just talking about things, and it really resonated with me because one of the posts I've kind of got in the archives is there's like a social media meme like of you in 2016 against you in 2026. Mm-hmm. And I realized that I blogged quite a lot in 2016. 2016 was quite a big year for me. I went to the United States. Wales qualified for the Euros for the first time in my life, so I went to France for a month, and my brother got married. And it helped me look back at that time, me writing it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And what's been really nice is, side note, my sister-in-law is Polish. And the wedding was in Poland. There was a really, really nice restaurant. I could not remember the name of it. And it is in Krakow. But I wrote it on the blog post. And I am going to find that restaurant when I go to Krakow for WordCamp Europe. So even though those posts don't get any sort of traffic whatsoever, they're there. And they are still on the archive. And I can just go back and go, oh, it's useful for me. And I think this is what Elliot was kind of saying, is that there is going to be a, even if nobody views his photos from Bali in the past, he probably will, or, his family will, and it will be a nice reminiscence of that time.
Yeah.
So, I just, this was one of those things that I just was like, we should do this. We should post it. Everybody should post more on their own sites and then share it to social media.
Please finish if you had something.
No. I mean, I know algorithms are against like people social media linking back, but this was it just really resonated with me. And it was,
Do you know what, Rhys? I'm so fed up of the algorithm. I'm so sick of the algorithm. I'm fed up of everything being done for an algorithm. I mean, honestly, I could swear at this point and then say the words algorithm at the end of it, but I'm not going to. Who cares about the algorithm? Just like Elliot, he's obviously got a bit fed up with the algorithm. I had the same epiphany I don't know, about 18 months ago or something like that, started writing more on my blog. And here's a mysterious thing that I can't explain. I get a great deal of satisfaction writing on my own blog. I cannot explain what it is. There is something about sitting in the same chair, writing the same content in that UI, that WordPress UI, and clicking publish, and it gives me all the good feelings in the world, and the exact same set of typing out onto something like LinkedIn or Facebook or social media of any kind. None of it. I don't get any of that sense of intuition. It's ephemeral. It's going to be gone by tomorrow. It'll be completely forgotten. I'll never find it again. And, you know, I don't really know how to put it into words, but there's a there. Yeah. And it's really nice. And, you know, we've been droning on about it for years. Own your own content, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. It just feels nice. It's just a nice thing.
And even if you own your own content for you, like, even if nobody else reads it, which is going on to the next thing I'm going to talk about. But it's really, it really resonated with me, so I wanted to highlight it.
I hope people do more like Elliot in the year 2026 and beyond. Marc?
I just want to say that this really hits for me too, because I used to blog a lot back before social media, for those that can remember that. And it wasn't just for me, but it was because I didn't write for the likes. I didn't write for the followers. I wrote so that my family and friends and everybody, when I was moved away and all that, could stay in touch and see what was going on. And I think that one of the reasons that maybe you feel something, Nathan, when you write something, is because your motivation is completely different. When you blog, you're writing for yourself. You're writing for people you actually care about. If you're writing on social media, it's a completely different mindset, where it's like, it's about how much traffic you get, how many likes, and your brand and all these things. And you don't go through and look at who all liked your content. You just want to know how many likes you got. Whereas when you're blogging, you just want your family and friends and people you love and care about to know what's going on in your life, and you want to share that with them, and you hope that it creates like this conduit through which you stay in touch with people that matter to you. So I think that there's a lot more of the really important things that go along with when you blog and when you write for yourself and for the things that matter. So this has actually re-inspired me to go back to doing the blogging. So thank you for bringing this up.
You're very welcome.
Because it actually put into words some things that have been going around in my mind, but I really haven't, it hasn't gelled with me until right this minute.
Yeah, I kind of feel, okay, so this is going to sound so overblown, and apologies for what's about to come out of my mouth. I kind of feel wholesome at the end of doing a blog post.
Yeah.
And at the end of doing social media stuff, I don't have that feeling. It's just like this empty exercise in pouring stuff into dev null and hoping that some of it doesn't go in there. You know, it's kind of weird. Like, the incentive is totally different, Marc. I'm not doing it because I'll then go back 8 minutes later and see, did anybody, was there any likes, any traction in that? It's just, here it is. I've thought about it. I'm offering up to the world. Maybe nobody will read it, but I don't care. Very different. Very, very different. Yeah. And Michelle, have you got anything on that before we move on?
It's interesting because I have not thought about that in the past and just posted things on social instead of to my own blog or things like that. And then I go back and I try to find it because I want to reference it. And the search features on social are lacking. So I could search
That's
my
a nice
name,
way to put it.
like my handle and a specific term that I know I used, and it comes up with nothing. Yet when I scroll endlessly to find the thing, there it is with the terms that I was searching, and it doesn't find it. And so I'm like, do I start categorizing every single thing that I post so I can reference it back to a link later on? Or do I just maybe save some of those things and post them on my blog as well? You know, those things. And I haven't started reblogging or blogging again yet, but it is on my list for 2026. And yes, I realize we're almost halfway through February and I haven't accomplished it yet.
It's
I'm
interesting.
getting there.
Yeah, I haven't done much in the way of blogging this year, but I fully
You were
expect to.
on fire at the end of last year.
But I think I will be again. I've just taken a little bit of a hiatus, and I've got some ideas for posts that I want to write. And also, it's fairly cathartic. I get this. Yeah. It's almost like self-therapy. I'm sort of writing stuff and getting stuff out there a little bit and feeling, I don't know. There's something going on. It's much more wholesome, and the madding crowd is not there trying to, either rate it up or rate it down or what have you. There's always a piece in each episode that we do where it gets a bit of traction, and this would appear, maybe there'll be one later, but this would appear to be the one for today. So James saying we're all burnt out from social media. It's time to own your own space again. James, I could not agree more. I thoroughly agree with that sentiment. I am sick to the back teeth of it. I'm sick to what it's doing to me. I can only speak about me, but I've noticed things in my life which are not wholesome because of social media. I can only draw a line between me and social media, and none of it's good. I'm not sure that I get a fat lot out of social media. Yes, says Taco, publishing on your own blog means it won't be forgotten. It can't be forgotten if it's never seen, can it? Or am I being too negative now? I know what you mean, Taco. But the incentive for me isn't the number of people that see it. That is 100% not why I'm doing it. If I write a piece about a walk that I did, which I've been doing quite a bit recently, with photographs and things like that, I don't anticipate anybody's going to see it. But if some curious person does see it, that's great. But the incentive is not for it to be seen. Well, obviously that's a lie because I'm posting it online. There must be some aspect of that, but it's not the big upfront thing in the back of my mind anyway. Elliot, there we go. Hello, Elliot. Posting for a quick dopamine hit. I think we've just covered that off a little bit as well. So Sean joins us. It's amazing when somebody reaches out after finding a blog post from X years ago that's still helpful. Yeah. Okay, so it has its place. Okay, we'll have to agree that it definitely does. Verse publishing for longevity. We're maybe getting lost a little bit now because of when these comments dropped. Is there anybody seeing a particular comment that's worth raising? I can see about 10 that
Sean, the very last one I think is worth raising.
Is it this one that begins sometimes I am actually?
Nope, I love the POSSE acronym. Publish on your own site, syndicate elsewhere.
The most recent one. That's lovely. Thank you. I love. I was just about to say what you literally just said. The POSSE. I'd never heard of that. Yes, but why? Exactly that. Right. Write it on your blog, and then if you must
share it
go
out
to social media and share it and what have you. Yeah, that's true. I run a business, says James, and now I can separate my thoughts brain between work and life. Yeah, that's another curious thing on social media. If you've somehow got this one handle, then you are kind of constrained in the kind of things that you can write because it may collide with work because you gain this. I just publish everything everywhere, and
the right people will pick it up or not.
But presumably, Marc, let's say for example, we all know Marc, main WP and things like that. There must be sort of boxes and constraints around the kind of things that you may or may not be able to do because the association is Marc works for main WP. Anything that Marc says reflects on main WP, and that's kind of strange.
Well, to be fair, Dennis is like, be yourself. He's always been that way, which I really appreciated about him. He's
unusual though, isn't he?
He is unusual, but he's always been be yourself. And if I don't like something, you'll say, I'll just disown you, and that's it, but not disown you, but I'll make my own disclaimers. But by and large, I've never felt that constraint from external pressures. There are internal pressures where I'm like, well, is this really something that I want, to be out there or whatever. There are a lot of personal things that go on that affect people in my personal life that even though they might go to my personal brand, I feel like I need to protect them. So it's actually more the other way than it is as I don't want to say that I don't want to protect main WP because absolutely I absolutely
I know what you mean.
I feel more protective of people who haven't given me permission necessarily. So yeah.
You know what? We've just spent nearly 25 minutes on this show talking about blogging. How nice is that? Like we never talk
It's
about
lovely.
vlogging.
Let's just skip the AI chapter of this.
Yeah.
I did want to say, so I do post as myself everywhere. Even when I was publishing for Stellar, it was my voice behind it. But I have two things that I've learned in publishing to social over the years. Number one, I spent 12 years on my school board and realized that anything I say is viewed as me not representing the school board necessarily, but whether they wanted to reelect me to the school board going forward. And so I always thought about that. I always have that in the back of my mind. How do I want to be seen by the public, that are, whether it's international or local? And two, my personal mantra, my personal mission statement is lead with kindness. And so if I always post leading with kindness, it may not be that other people see that as kindness. So I have, for example, have the tweet that, broke the world and over 30,000 views. Several people lambasted me about, but honestly, it was still leading with kindness because it was about things that were important to technology. So doesn't mean people are always going to like what I put, but I always have kindness foremost in what I'm posting so that I don't get nasty and I don't say things that I wish I could take back later.
And curious thing, I don't know if this is true, but it feels like it's in the background somewhere. The immigration policy for your country, Marc and Michelle, is for not immigration, tourists even in the near future are going to have to surrender their social media content potentially at the border. I can't remember the number of years. Let's go for 4 years or something like that, which is kind of a curious thing that, we were all sold this, social media. Blah. Everybody got angry on social media. And now those angry things that you may have written 3 or 4 years ago might come back to haunt you, which is...
It's because of our current administration who doesn't believe in our Constitution of free speech.
Well, there you go. So this one will get trolled and I will never be allowed into the USA ever again.
Well, they may kick me out soon too, so who knows?
Moving on then. Patricia, hello.
Hi, Patricia.
Apologies if you wrote something about the Rhys thing there that was obviously Elliot. Oh, Marc's. Oh, it's that.
Time for me to go
wave his hands.
He has to go wave his arms and turn the lights back on.
Wave his arms. That's brilliant. So hello, and going to walk the dog, says the webinar. Okay, that's fine. And just, James, here we go. Forgive yourself the draft post. He says, the only issue I have with personal blogging is finding time to write. The mountain of draft posts is staggering. Here's my advice, James. Either just forgive yourself for not doing it, or when you get to the third word, that's enough. If that's all you've got to say, just hit publish. Doesn't need to be a tome. It doesn't need to be some sort of Dostoevsky thing. It just needs to be, I ate lunch. That's what you've got to say. Just hit the publish button and forgive yourself. And I, for one, will subscribe to your RSS feed. And so there we go. So that was wonderful. What a lot of fun that was, talking about blogging. ElliotRichmond.co.uk, and the blog posts all about writing content on his blog was written on, I don't see a post date, but it was fairly recent. I'm sure you can go to /feed. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The last post on the blog was 8 years ago.
It lives forever.
He's too busy making pizzas. Right. So, okay, I'm going to refresh this one. Rhys, we're going to have to race through these ones, I think, now a little bit. So,
okay. You very quickly.
Terry Godier /Phantom Obligation. What is this? Why are we looking
So this, again, Okay, if you scroll down, there's also like a read in plain text. I'd click that. But it's really so very quickly. Terry Godier, I believe, is a UX designer, and again talking about up current things, because why not? This is about an RSS reader, and what he has proposed, what he says is that potentially why RSS struggles is RSS was built on emails. So every single RSS feeder was built like it was an email thing. So it had like your notification, a red dot with your notification and how many unread things like there is in email. What he has basically said is, why are we doing this? Because you don't need, while you can reply to an email, and most of us should reply to an email, nobody cares if you don't read the blog post. And this kind of resonated with me again, because it was like, oh, yeah, I've got an RSS feeder with like hundreds of articles that are unread, and nobody cares. The people who write it don't care if I've read it or not. So he goes on to say how to structure it in a different way, and he's got like a beta app, which I haven't checked. You have to sign up for it, but like he's proposed like more of a campfire, like a river kind of thing, where you just let the content scroll past, so it would effectively.
So is it like a different UX instead of it just being things which you check off and say I have read or I haven't read? There's a different sort of UX component to it, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think they said that the river one wasn't great because it was like social media, effectively, which is what they want to kind of get rid of. But things like the library, where it's just like here is some new stuff for you to read. Go ahead and read it, kind of thing. And I'm still trying to work it out, but I was like, oh.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. Like the RSS, to me, the RSS is the most. An RSS reader, I use several. Yeah. They are the most beautiful things in the world, but equally, they're not that engaging. So unless you're curious and you want to, I wish there was an RSS reader, and maybe there is, where the more I interact with a certain person, the more, or certain website, the more it kind of leverages that. So not some sort of algorithm that I don't control. So I'd like to be able to say, you know what, you are giving me too much from this particular website. But the things that I seem to click through in that UX, I would like to see more of that. And then over time, my RSS feed might sort of have some sort of equilibrium for the people who I like and admire and whose stuff I wish to read. Thank you. All right. That one, I'll put the link in the show notes, but it's terrygodier.com/phantom obligation. And I don't know why there's numbers counting up on the screen there, but there is. And we're on to 331, which is fairly impressive. I'm going to move on, if that's all right, very quickly, and introduce Rhys's third and final article of today. This is matsuo.at, and the title gives it all away. Introduction to the new HTML element, geolocation. Very cool.
Right. Very cool. So if you've ever tried to do geolocation, you usually have to use like some sort of JavaScript library or import something in, which can work for a bit and then it breaks and it's a bit of a nightmare and it doesn't really work with anything. It's now in HTML and it's now done at a browser side. It's not, I think it's only in Chrome yet, but basically if it's in Chrome, eventually it will go in everything. And you press a button and it pops up a window saying, do you want to, share your location? And you can do that and it works and it's great. And it's got a few examples on that page, which should work, which you may not want to do online, but you can set attributes.
Yeah, you got the usual choices, haven't you? Like allow this time, which is kind of like this one-time deal. You probably want to do that if you've got no interest in coming back to the site, or allow while visiting the site. And then I think there's other options, isn't there? Like allow forever, and there's certainly background operations that you can do with apps. I don't know if it'll ever stretch into that because it's based in the browser. I'm not entirely sure, but interesting.
But you could do things like there's attributes where you can watch it, which is basically once you've accepted it, if this person moves around, follow them, basically, and things like that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound weird at all. No. But I can imagine if you've got like a fitness website and you want to track the bike ride that you're about to do or something, you don't want that website open all the time, but you do want it to be monitoring what you do because that's part of the deal. Very cool. Very, very cool indeed. The interop that's going on between the browsers, as you said, means that I'm sure that if this is in Chrome, it'll ship into nightly builds of Firefox and whatever else is out there in the very near future. But thank you for pointing that out. That's absolutely great. Sorry for joining late. You don't need to apologize. I cancelled it last week, so you win. Okay, let's move on in that case, and let's go now into some WordPressy stuff. I don't have a lot to say here, really, other than that, hopefully, if you've got your WordPress installs sort of set to auto-update over minor releases, this will have happened already. Maybe you got a slew of emails or something like that, but WordPress 6.9.1, which is a maintenance release, has been released. There's 49 bug fixes, which include things throughout core, the block editor, and addressing, it says here, multiple areas of WordPress, including mail, classic themes, and you can see the full list. I genuinely have nothing to say, except, as always, there's the great long list of people. We can't name them all, but thank you very much.
But we're not going to.
Yeah, we could, but there they all are. And thank you for the people who contribute to that to 6.9.1. Okay, this is very cool. This is very cool. I think this is cooler than I thought about when I put it onto the rundown. So if, like me, you've been blogging lately, at some point it's quite likely that you'll link out to things. And if your blog stays up for many, many years, it's quite likely that some of those links will just go stale over time. You know, websites come and they go, and things get moved around and they're no longer there. Well, this apparently is called link rot, when you've got a bunch of links spacing out from your website, so to external resources, and they just sort of disappear, which is a bit of a shame. So Automattic have joined forces with the Wayback Machine, the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine, to offer a plugin called Internet Archive Wayback Machine Link Fixer. It's quite a mouthful, but it does what it says on the tin. It literally does what you'd imagine. I'm going to read the blurb. The name of that plugin, I'm not going to say it twice because it's hard. This is a plugin designed to combat link rot, the gradual decay of web links as pages are moved, changed, or taken down. It automatically scans your post content on save and across existing posts to detect outbound links. For each one, it checks the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine for an archived version and creates a snapshot if one isn't available. So it will even, by the sounds of it, if there is no archive linked, it will go and create one. I don't know how it's going to do that, but anyway, this will automate that whole process for you, and you can see, in the normal way, it's on WordPress.org. You've got all the, the screenshots where you can see how it looks and what it does. But I just think that's a really nice idea. So bravo to Automattic on the Wayback Machine. Anybody else want to comment on that?
I think it's very cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's way cool. Yeah.
And knowing how many sites I've killed in the past, just let expire, then it would kind of be cool to be able to link back to those.
Yeah. And presumably from that blurb that I just read, it sounds like it's going to sort of proactively just kind of keep this whole process going. I don't know if I've got that right, but obviously it said on save, and then it said and across existing posts. That reads to me like it's going to slowly just go through your website, presumably on some sort of schedule, and just keep checking on your behalf. And hopefully the Internet Archive will have more or less everything that's ever existed, so it will be able to find the approximation for it, or the correct one. I don't know what that bit means about creating one if it doesn't exist. I'm not entirely sure what that meant, but
can you bring up Amber's comment, though? I think it's worth talking about.
Yeah, I can. Thank you. Yeah. So this is Amber Hines from Equalize Digital. I've wondered how this Wayback Machine plugin is different from a broken link check, which a lot of hosts have banned because of causing performance issues. So I guess the thing here is that this will in the scenario that you're describing, Amber, do those plugins go and automatically find the Wayback Machine, the post that is on the Wayback Machine?
I think from what Amber's saying is a lot of the plugins that are literally just broken link checkers. Will just go through your site and then go, this link's broken, this link's broken, this link's broken, this link's broken. They're quite resource intensive, and I think when the saving is probably not that resource intensive. It probably just, you click save, it goes off to an API within the Internet Archive, says, is this available? Yes, great. If not, make a snapshot, and this is the URL for it so that it can find it. I think it's more just checking everything to make sure it works and everything. If you've done any sort of SEO, when you do a broken link check, you do it off-site because it can break. You're basically running a whole database. You're checking everything within your database, so it can be really, really slow.
I'll just read a little bit further down. So it says what this service is for, what this service is and what it's used for. The Internet Archive Wayback Machine is a digital archive, I'm going to read it quickly, of the World Wide Web. The plugin uses their API to check for existing archive versions of web pages, create new snapshots of pages, and verify the status of archive jobs. And then maybe this is more what you're into, Amber. What data is sent and when? So no personal data is sent or used to verify if Wayback Machine services are online. You've got to put in an API key, it says. Your access and secret keys are sent over and authorized. It's all getting into technical stuff that actually probably isn't what you want. I'm going to point you to this article, Amber. It's on the WordPress.org repo. And we lost Marc for a minute there, but he's back.
He forgot to wave his hands.
Yeah, that's right. And I will link to it in the show notes, but you can probably find it by just Googling this Internet Archive Wayback Machine link fixer.
Mayank has a really nice post or comment as well.
Okay, there we go. Right, here we go. This is pretty cool, it says. I wonder if it also has an option to delete the old screenshot if somebody wants to delete any old versions. Oh, yeah, interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure. It's a good point. The plugin description, says Amber, makes me think it monitors over time. Yes, that's the impression I got, Amber, is that it would just, obviously when you click publish or update on a post, I think it's doing a check then, but then I think it's just sort of on some cron job going through, hopefully very gently, maybe like one post an hour or something like that, which sounds like what the broken link checkers do, monitoring for broken links over time. Yeah, but again, as Rhys says, I think it's doing more than that. It's not just reporting there's a broken link. It's going and finding something, which means it's now not broken, even if it's not going to the original.
Is there an option to just see whether or not you want it to? Like, hey, I found this broken link. Do you want to take it out, or do you want to
automatically scans for? So I'm just reading off the website now. I'll just read here. Automatically scans for outbound links in post content. Checks the Wayback Machine for existing archives. Creates new snapshots if no archive exists. Redirects broken or missing links to archive versions. Archives your own posts on update. Works on both new and existing content. Helps maintain long-term SEO readability and SEO. What's this bit? Archives your own posts on updates.
I think that means that when you hit update on the post, your post will go into the Internet Archive.
Oh, I see. It's not archiving on your... Okay, it's not like setting it to draft or something. I was thinking that's weird. No, that's not good.
I think that's what they mean by that.
Okay, so every time you create an update, it pings the Wayback Machine, the Internet Archive. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so it's a proactive crawling mechanism by the sounds of it.
And I think based on what Mayan has said about it also has... I wonder if it has an option to delete an old snapshot. I don't think you would be able to delete snapshots from the Internet Archive. I don't know. Like that would be
kind of the point, isn't it?
That's kind of the point of it.
Yeah,
but I think if you go and update an old post, it would potentially then go, right, here's a snapshot from the 1st of February. Oh, I've updated the 1st of March. Yeah. Here's another snapshot from the 1st of March, because you can see how a site changes over time.
Yeah, so Amber Hines, one last throw of the dice here. She says, yeah, I know it does more. I'm just curious about what the continual process for monitoring links is. Yeah, I think we're probably just as confused as you are, to be honest, Amber. So maybe we ought to check that out on another episode. But okay, anyway, very nice. Thought that was a kind of cool thing and definitely worth mentioning. Okay, we're going to move on to... Okay. This is going to sound negative, and I do apologize. Try to be positive. I'm a little bit confused about the education initiatives in the WordPress space. Not because any of them lack merit. I think they all lack incredible merit, but because there's a lot of them going on, and I'm finding it hard to keep up with which things are going on where and under what name, and what thing maps to what name, and what initiatives are going on underneath it. And hopefully in the next few minutes, you'll understand why I'm confused. So
we need an org chart for this.
Yeah, I think so. A spreadsheet I think
sounds like a new project for you, Michelle.
No, I don't think so. I got enough.
Michelle, I don't think you're busy enough, Michelle. You've definitely not got enough going on. So here we go. Let's start here, and then we'll move on through a bunch of different articles. So this one's called Community Education Initiatives Help Grow Connections with Educational Institutions. We'll begin here. In the past 2 years, the WordPress community has launched a handful of education initiatives. These initiatives are designed to help introduce, onboard, and educate students into the WordPress open source project. Projects like like, and here come a few. Campus Connect, WordPress student clubs offer students the opportunity for hands-on learning within WordPress through workshops or ongoing meetups on campus. WordPress Credits, a contribution-focused initiative, offers onboarding and mentorship that helps learners satisfy academic requirements while directly contributing to WordPress. Now, I know that things are being put under this sort of umbrella. This, I think it's /education. I think it is wordpress.org/education. So it's kind of all going to live there. But I'm wondering if you panelists who are all into WordPress and all of that kind of stuff, do you know the difference between Campus Connect and WordPress student clubs, for example? Putting you all on the spot.
Well, Campus Connect actually gives you college credits.
Yes,
it's very much organized through the college itself as earning credits for learning WordPress, as opposed to a student club, which is people gathering around the same information.
But then, interestingly, if we look on the same article, there's another hyperlink to a WordPress credits thing, which kind of feels like that's a separate thing as well. But you're quite right. Yeah, there's definite blue sky. What do they call it when there's a blue sky? Let's go with that. There's each of these has a definitive boundary, and it does one thing. Yeah. I'm just sort of.
And it's also a Venn diagram with a little bit of overlap.
There you go.
Right?
Exactly that. Right. Yeah. There's a bit of that. So this is trying to make that whole process a little bit easier. What they're trying to do is sort of say on this article, if you've got any contacts in the WordPress space and you are somehow overlapping in the education space, here's how you can connect institutions, meetups, and what have you. So I'm going to drop that into the show notes. So if you're into education in any way, shape, or form, and you would like more intel, then there's something there. So moving into a different thing, this is quite nice. This is UIC, which stands for the University of Illinois Chicago. I confess I've not heard of that institution. And the WordPress Foundation have launched the UIC Tech Solutions Open Source Fund. So we have another thing we've just added in. It's quite a mouthful, that one, isn't it? The UIC Tech Solutions Open Source Fund. Now, this is an initiative to accelerate open source systems. It's something to do with UIC and Automatic. Automatic have thrown in some money into the hat to make it so that you can get, it looks like AI learning. You're going to get $1,000 if you complete this program. But there's a cohort of, I think it's going to be 40 students who are going to receive that money. But there's another thing here, and you may not have heard of it. If you're in this part of the world, it probably would have been quite nice to have heard of that, especially if you're into those things. And then we've got this that I've just talked about, seems to be exactly the same as this, but now it's being called AI Leaders Micro-Credential. And so now we've got AI Leaders Micro-Credential, we've got UIC Tech Solutions Open Source Fund, we've got meetups, WordPress credits, Campus Connect, WordPress student clubs. Can you see why I'm confused?
You just need to see the silos and how they overlap and what exactly each one does.
Yeah. My point being, there's no doubt every single one of these things has a value, like probably an incredible value. I'm just confused. And because I'm confused, I would imagine it's probably really easy to understand, but you know what I mean? There's a lot going on out there. And I, for one, would kind of welcome it if there's somebody who can get in touch with me and explain in a nice, clear format how one begins and one ends and where one is and where the other one is. That would be really helpful. So I hopefully that didn't come across as a moan. Hopefully that came across as, wow, there's so much going on that it's hard to keep a track of. And
I think Taco raises a very good point in the comments.
Thank you.
Maybe it's me, but
is it this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I'm going to ask Mark, is $1,000 crazy in the United States? Nope.
No.
Okay.
No.
This is probably.
No. I mean, your books for one course are going to cost you $1,000, and those are online books these days.
And I was paying $1,000 for my per credit for my master's degree 20 years ago. So
I would have assumed that that's what Taco meant. That's an inadequate amount of money. Is that what you were?
I thought he meant it was too much. I thought he was saying
I actually thought the same thing.
We need some clarification from you, Taco.
Taco, tell us what you think. I thought that you were saying it's not enough, but I think Michelle and Mark think that maybe you're thinking that's a little bit too much.
I got confused. I think this is like you are paid to complete that course.
No,
okay, well,
you
now
are
we have
paid
3 different
after
opinions.
you complete that course.
Okay, yeah, but the money goes to the student. It's not them
okay.
paying. It's not the student.
I perhaps was confused then.
Yeah, let me put it on the screen. So you see, none of this is confusing.
I was just going to say, and this proves
$1,000.
Nathan's point right here. This right here proves Nathan's point.
So here we go. So this is from the UIC. So this is the fund that's been given by Automatic, who's sponsored with this one particular university, and we've got this line here. Students who complete the course earn $1,000. So it feels like it's money to do some open source training, particularly aligned in the AI space. I can see why Automatic would wish to fund that particular thing, because that's all the rage at the moment. And getting a young cohort of AI enabled WordPressers is really valuable.
So
sounds like there's 40.
Automatic is paying for the course itself. So
there's
no money outpaid.
I think they just give you a reward.
Right, but they're not charging you also to take the course. It's not.
No, I don't believe so. Okay. Yeah, I think you somehow, maybe you have to upfront the money at the beginning and what have you, and then you get the money at the end. And anyway, there we go. So is Taco still here? Here, students would do virtually anything. Oh no, Taco did think it was too much.
Yeah. Okay. That I was
totally wrong. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
but Michelle and I were wrong, because we were thinking that the student is paying the $1,000 as opposed to the student.
But
getting
I will also tell you that students in the United States will not do anything for 50 to 100 euro. I mean, maybe they'll like shovel your sidewalk or mow your grass, but they're not going to take an entire course for $1,000. They're going to expect a lot more at the end of that.
Okay, people in
or
the United States
is good, is what I mean.
They're very, very. They have very high expectations of what their time is
our cost
worth.
of living is ridiculous over here too, though.
And our cost of living is I'm in California. You're in New York. You know what cost of living.
I think the education space in the United States, you can basically add a couple of zeros to anything we have over this side of the pond. Okay.
Anyway, sorry for causing the confusion.
No. But I'm glad that we had that confusion, because it forced us to talk about it and figure it out. So anyway,
and Amber has it exactly right in her comment.
Okay, lovely. She's got one. I was understanding it. So Amber Hines, back in the comments, I was understanding it as it pays the student to do it. I thought it was free to take it, though.
You are correct, Amber.
Okay,
no, that's what
so
we're
you get it
now.
as a sort of reward after completing it, but it's free to do. Have I got that right?
I mean, the one thing that I think here. The one thing that I think here is that all of these things, as confusing as they may be, they all address this idea of we need to get more young people into WordPress. Right. That's really what it boils down to. And that's the key. And everybody has their own idea about how to go about doing it. And somebody needs to come along, I don't know who, but somebody needs to come along and say, okay, let's make sense of all these ideas and bring it together. But the goal is still, let's not take away or lose focus on the fact that the goal is still to bring young people into WordPress, and that's what this is all about.
And AI is a great way to do it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Mark, because I think so a few years ago, we didn't have these overlapping initiatives. They just simply didn't exist. And then things like Campus Connect and what have you came along. And obviously they're being run by different people and they've got different outcomes. But it's exactly what you said, Mark, I think. I think there's this knowledge that, unless we do something about it and unless we attract people, I don't know, under the age of 30 and lower down to come into the WordPress space, that's going to have an impact in a decade or half a decade's time. And so there's all these initiatives, they're all happening at the same time, but that just means it's quite hard for people like me, like our panelists, to get a grip of which one does what's that thing again? And so the clarity around that would be quite useful.
So the world's worst web developer. Put the last comment in. WordPress is an old person's platform. There are other things that are more attractive to young people, like AI. So I actually saw a claim yesterday that counters what we'd seen prior to that, which is that a lot of people are checking your resume, for example, or your CV, to see if it's been done by AI and automatically checking if it has. I saw a claim yesterday that that's reversed now, that because they're checking to see if you're using AI and they're putting you at the top of the list because they want to see that you have AI skills in a lot of these jobs. So I'm interested. I don't know if that's true or not, but that is a claim that I saw yesterday online. And I was like, I wish I could go back to where it was, but I saw it fleetingly. So interesting.
And by the way, who are you calling old?
I know I'm one.
I'll take it. So long as I don't get really, really old, then that's just an insult. But
I'm older than you, Nathan.
I'll take that. Take that any day of the week. So yeah, Taco is back in. The comment got truncated, he said, but I really dislike that we have seasoned contributors living in poverty and students getting a course fee and then $1,000 grant for getting free education, all in caps, getting free education. And yeah, okay, so a bit of clarity hopefully here. Mayan, or I don't know how you pronounce that.
Mayank.
Sorry. Thank you, Mayank. He says, yes, the course will be free to take, and upon completion, students will get $1,000. Goal is to get more and more young people into WordPress, and it got truncated, and more students may end up joining it because they will learn AI. All of you are old.
I own it. I own it.
And
I think Rhys is still in his 30s, though. So let's give him a break.
I appreciate that. I'm 41.
I'm going to guess that beard alone took at least 30 years to conjure up.
No, this beard was I need to be able to look like I can buy alcohol.
Underneath those baby face.
Yeah.
Young people are rejecting AI. This goes either way, though, doesn't it? I think some young people.
It depends on the group, for sure.
Some people clearly aren't. We all know what I think about AI. I have great reservations about it. I would like it all to go back in a box, although it's marvelous in certain respects. So here we go. Young people are rejecting AI. They have a lot of environmental concerns and ethical concerns. I can only tell you about the young people in my life, and they are all aligned with that comment. The young people that I have in my life, they don't want AI to be the thing. They're terribly worried about the future that they're going to be living in should AI take every single job out there. And let's keep going. Taco, it seems that they are saying, you see, even we're reading the article, we can't parse what the article says. Taco, it seems like they're saying that free education is not sufficient motivation to take the course.
You to bribe them with $1,000 also.
Okay, there you go. And then there's a comment about Rhys's beard and alcohol.
Yeah,
that's why I stopped drinking alcohol, Rhys. I can't grow a beard. It's got to be beards and alcohol, hasn't it? The name of this episode. Beards and booze. Let's go with that.
There you go.
And
I have no beard.
No, I kind of keep mine to a manageable length. I could strike a match on mine. That's the goal.
I mean, I'm a woman in her 50s, so I do pluck a few here and there. But
AI is like politics, says the Webinaut. You have the ones that love it and the other ones that are against
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, we're not supposed to talk about it. Like you're not supposed to talk about politics.
Fight Club. That's just okay. Let's move on. So that was a whole bunch of stuff all about education and what have you. And if you're confused like me, let's see if in the next year or two it becomes more obvious.
Let's also agree that there's multiple ways into WordPress, and Indeed. So some people who are young people will come into WordPress in spite of AI, and others will come because of AI. And so opening up more than one route will help bring more people from diverse populations in.
Yeah,
I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah. Last comment about AI, and it's this. There we go. That sums it up perfectly for me. Taco says, I love AI, full stop, and I hate it with a passion. Yeah, there you go.
I can apply that sentence to a few things in my life.
Yeah,
right now, so.
No sitting on the fence there. So, okay, moving on. On the screen now, we've got the repository. This article entitled WordPress Meetup Organizers Back Revamp Plans, but warn infrastructure must catch up. So I'll quickly summarize. If you've never been to a WordPress meetup, think of it as an evening-long WordCamp. The idea is that you show up and for a couple of hours, you would possibly sit as an attendee, probably watch a couple of presentations, maybe have a bit of networking time. And, it's all probably done in the same room and it's city-based. And, so hopefully you can travel to one that's fairly close. They kind of took a bit of a hit, massive hit, in fact, in the UK, at least anyway, during COVID, never really recovered. There are a few going on, but they seem, all the ones that I've been to anyway, follow a very similar formula. You show up as a register, as a attendee, you show up, watch a few people talk about something which hopefully aligns with what you're trying to do, and then, have a chat with people, network, and then leave. And the idea here is that's been proposed is, wouldn't it be good if rather than show up and watch, it was show up and do? So things where the content enables you to interact. So I'll just quickly see if I can find the correct sentence. Yeah, so the idea, a roadmap has been proposed which plans to expand the traditional meetup format beyond talks and social events to include hands-on sessions where attendees can contribute to WordPress and connect with make teams, which is lovely. Really nice idea. But both Rhys and I and Michelle and Marc, I'm sure in the past, has been involved with these kind of things. That's a really nice sentiment. But the article here is sort of also proposing the point of how. How do you actually do that? Like, if you're an organizer of an event, how would you make that happen? It can happen at WordCamps because there's lots of time to plan. There's probably some sort of reliable Wi-Fi that's been paid for. Probably people are going to show up with a laptop. They've probably taken time off work. So, yada, yada, yada. This is not going to be the case for meetups. So really what this article is saying is, great idea, but how on earth do we implement that? And I think that's a good sentiment. We would need, I think, a lot more direction, possibly from on high, to give us ideas about how that would be done. Rhys, it sounds like you're wanting to say.
Yeah, this is one of those things, because we're different in MWork compared to WPLDN, in that we don't have speakers. We are literally a co-working.
Yep.
So we're literally Friday afternoon, we go here. We're an afternoon-based WordCamp, WordPress meetup, and you can just come along with your laptop and we co-work and we discuss the network. The reason why we do it like that is because all the organizers burned themselves out, and that's why we've kept it very, very simple. We go to the same place. We have put it this way, it's a co-working space. Nobody really minds that we're there, kind of thing. We're kind of a little bit under the radar a little bit. Somebody did show up and went to them and said, "Where's the meetup?" And they were like, "We don't know."
It really is under the radar.
But that's the way in which we do it, because everybody involved in it burnt out. And this feels like somebody going a little bit, because it would probably be the meetup organizers planning this, and going, okay, so, they talk about contributing, right? You need somebody to go, if somebody wants to contribute to WordPress, you need somebody who is a meetup organizer who is also doing, knows how to contribute, and because I've done both the coding and like the forum support when I've done contributing at WordCamps. When I did the, the actual coding, I got a patch into core, but it literally took me 6 hours to set my laptop up.
Yeah.
And just so that it worked, because the way in which I work on a day-to-day basis is completely different to the way in which you're supposed to set up and use track and all that jazz.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, it's all very well saying that, and as well as what you said, Nathan, in terms of the infrastructure, the Wi-Fi, setting everything up and everything. It's the people as well. It's the organizers, because it would be us leading this or teaching them how to do something in WordPress or whatever. And
you get a real range of people showing up to these things as well, and so it'd be really hard to kind of figure out what the content would be that would be meaningful, and not just really like, some expert shows up and it's just, oh my goodness, we're doing 101 blog posting, are we? That's not entertaining. It feels a little bit like sort of saying, do you know what we should do? Let's run them. So nothing to do with WordPress. Yeah. Somebody just has this bright idea. There should be a marathon in our town. Let's set up a marathon, because all we need to do is get a load of people to come here and run.
Mm-hmm.
But what about all the things like the medical stuff and the ticketing and the organizing the event and the, yada, 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 a million things that need to happen if you're going to run a marathon. Sort of same thing here. It's a lovely, laudable idea, but the realities and the proclivities kind of feel that it might be much, much harder to do than, certainly across all of the meetups. And Taco makes a good point. Oh, it's got lost. Where's it gone? There was something about 9 people. There we go. He said, I loved it when we had 2 or 3 speakers a night and 100 plus attendees. I happily put the work that was needed in. Nowadays, it's way harder to motivate myself for a 9-person meetup. And this is the problem. I don't think this would be a sticking plaster solution for that. Just sort of saying, let's do contributor-based stuff isn't going to fix it. I don't think, at least.
From a Manchester meetup perspective, 9-person meetup would be our biggest ever. Like that would be our biggest thing since before COVID.
Right.
Because we get small numbers, which is why we did it in such a way. Because we tried to get the speakers at the evening meetup, and it struggled. So this is why we then said, right, it's a mid-afternoon co-working thing. And I realise we eliminate everybody who can't work from, who have to go to an office, who have a day job, and it does kind of limit who shows up to this. But at the same time, it means there is a meetup. There is something going on. They could say, if you're in Manchester and you do WordPress, come along to this on a Friday afternoon.
So there's a variety of different comments in here. So Elliot, who we mentioned his blog post earlier, it's now moved up. Where's it gone? The comments are coming in so fast. When I try to click on one, there's another one, and it bumps it up the queue.
Very active group today.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah. Thank you for all your comments, by the way. I don't say that often enough, but we're very pleased that you guys are commenting. Right. Okay. The thought of contributing came to mind for our meetup, but the logistics prove to be impossible. Not everyone has a laptop, Wi-Fi, seating, etc. And there was something a bit like that. I saw another comment, which was, you could spend sort of 2 hours just setting up the laptop for the whole. So it's hard. You come to a contributor day on a big WordCamp. Anyway, gosh, I can't circle that square, but I thought it was. It's worth mentioning. We only ever have one thing per show that captures the comments, but today we've had 2. So I'm feeling this is one of the more successful episodes that we're have ever had. So that's really nice. Thank you for your commentary. Is there anything that's popped up in the comments that you think worthy of bringing onto the screen?
Very quickly, I think Taco's comment was about an organizer. What he said was, he split it over 2.
This one, as an organizer, what's the difference between finding a speaker and finding a workshop lead? I don't suppose anything really. I suppose it's more who's going to show up and what are they going to bring with them. Most of our attendees at WPLDN, they don't have a laptop. They're just sort of showing up and,
It also depends on how you're selling it to people and how you're organized. It's not enough to just say it's a workshop. You have to put a lot more thought and energy into how you're sending that information out to other people so they know how to prepare to be there.
Like what Nathan said, it's like there is no, not everybody who shows up at WPLDN brings a laptop. And if they
and this goes to the comment James made, which I think we skipped, which is what I learned from our end of the year gather. People just wanted to network, and I think that's a huge part of it. I know it is for me when I go to meetups is really just to network and help people if they have issues. But that's part of networking as far as I'm concerned. I think that doing things the way that you do it, Rhys, is the way that makes sense to me for a meetup. Is just don't have anything formal. People show up, and you get some networking in, you get some work in, you get some all these things that help you to connect, and that's what builds the community in the first place is that connection. So and it's a lot easier than trying to find speakers, because I've done both, and let me tell you,
WPSpeakers.com helps you find speakers, by the way.
Yes, we've made use of that. Thank you. Michelle's resource, WPSpeakers.com is worth.
But also like my meetup in here for Rochester is still online. Like we went online during the pandemic. It's still online because my mobility has decreased since we were meeting in person. And if I don't have somebody to help me, because I can't lift my scooter and assemble it out of my trunk by myself, then I can't run a meetup offsite. So mine will always be online unless and until somebody else steps up to coordinate it.
Maybe this is part of the educational piece. There's this bigger picture of trying to make this whole thing work through all these different initiatives so that there are some people a bit younger blood so that those kind of activities can happen. Okay, so there was a lot there. I don't think we've got the measure of it exactly, but hopefully some of these kind of initiatives will take off, and maybe there will be some more kind of contributing type work, but it also feels like there's a significant impediments to making it just work at the sort of click of a fingers. The ideation is where we're at. Oh, and just here, there seem to be quite a few people who also were just sort of railing against the meetup.com platform. Meetup.com is the sort of de facto platform that charter program meetups use. It's free. If you are one of the charter program meetups, if you're not, then obviously you'll have to pay. But it has drawbacks, and it has bonus things as well. It's got some good and some bad, and obviously things like GatherPress, which Patricia, who was in the comments, she's been involved in rather a lot. It would be great if that became a like for like swap out, and everybody could gather on GatherPress, a sort of home-built WordPress solution for the exact same thing. So, okay, that was another point that got raised. Righty-ho, we're going to have to race. I'm sorry about this. I'm going to commiserate the fact that the community has lost. Well, not lost. That's not true.
He's just moving into a different
Sorry, Nick. It sounds like your demise, but maybe it'll be the making of you, and wonderful things will happen. I apologize. Nick Diego, who has been on the podcast several times, he is leaving Automatic. He obviously has been tinkering a lot with AI and has decided that he's got some new pastures to check out. Let's just put it that way. And so he has left Automatic, and I think there's a bit of a hole there to be filled. So hopefully somebody else will come in and take whatever role that he had. But thank you, Nick, for your contributions, particularly to this show. I really appreciate that.
And good luck to you.
Indeed. Yeah, good luck indeed. Yeah. Right, now, okay, so I was saying that my RSS dwindled. My RSS dwindled. It's now really short. Basically, the vast majority of WordPress content that I am receiving through my RSS feed, and you've just got to trust me when I say that I have got more or less everything that I can find in the WordPress space in my RSS feed reader. So much AI is now. That's just like more than half the content appears to be around AI. And so we'll just cover off a few things. Because time is short, I don't think we'll have a chance to get into them. That's handy because I don't understand any of it anyway. But here we go. So the first one is from Felix, who is no longer employed at Google, but is still contributing. Thank you, Felix. Appreciate it. Proposal for merging WP AI client into WordPress 7.0, an API agnostic client. So in other words, it's not like Claude or OpenAI. You bring your own key and what have you into WordPress core. I'll just let that sink in for a bit. What do we think about that? First comment, no thank you. And then Birgit joined in. Care to elaborate? And you don't normally get this many comments, but look, AI is so interesting to so many people. I think probably if people want it, we should have it in there, but I definitely don't want it to be aligned to any particular institution, company, or anything like that. Any thoughts quickly?
Oh, is this a plugin territory?
That's kind of that I think is probably where my head goes. Yeah. But I think that do you know what, Rhys? I think the more weeks that go by, the more this is an indispensable thing in just every developer's toolkit, isn't it? Is anybody who's developing, like any significant proportion of people who are developing not using AI anymore? It feels like everybody's jumped on in some way, maybe some more than others. So maybe that whole 80-20 argument has sort of flipped. Maybe 80% of the developers out there are using this stuff habitually. And so it kind of does belong. Anyway, there's a proposal by Felix. If you think AI belongs in core, you can have your say. Call for feedback and testing. The instructions are down here. Or you could go and make a comment and join in the fun over there. Right, okay, next one. If you're a .com user, now there's a Claude connector. That means that if you're a Claude user and you've got a WordPress.com account, it's possible for you to now ask Claude stuff about your WordPress website. So in the past, Claude had to sort of make assumptions. Now it can get into the back end of your .com account and tell you things like which is the most popular post, and essentially it can suck data out of your WordPress website should you allow that to happen. So that's interesting. Also interesting is TechCrunch very, very rarely writes about WordPress. But that thing was apparently important enough. This connection between Claude Code and WordPress got an article. I don't know why the headline has gone. Where's the headline gone? There used to be a headline at the top there saying, oh, is that it now? Is that what you get? Yeah. You just get this tiny little headline down there. That's curious. Anyway, it was mentioned in TechCrunch, so obviously, you know, all the AI makes this stuff very fascinating. Jonathan Bossinger has an interesting spin on AI this week. He's clearly an open source advocate. I don't know how disgruntled he is with the open AIs and the Claudes and the Anthropics and all of that sort of stuff out there, but he has created what's called the WP Llama model provider. And I'll just read from the blurb down at the bottom. It's a WordPress plugin that provides local and cloud AI model support, Ollama for the WordPress AI client. So if you don't wish to entrust your information or all of that to these big, giant companies who, let's be honest, we don't know if they're going to exist into the year 2027, feels like they've got quite a few debts to pay, then maybe going for local LLMs and things like that is your thing. There's an article here and a plugin which will help you do that. And there's some experiments in the word. I'm sorry, I'm just talking. I hope you three don't mind. I'm just going to go through this quickly and then you can sum it up at the end if you want. There's some AI experiments which are going around at the moment. Jeffrey Paul produced this article on the 4th of Feb, and they would like some intuition as to how much of this stuff is interesting. Maybe some of it should go into the AI experiments plugin or go into core perhaps. So they are as follows. They are typing ahead suggestions. So this is the idea that AI would auto complete a sentence for you, or maybe the next sentence based upon the previous paragraphs. Maybe that's of interest to you. This next one kind of scares me a little bit. It's the ability to get an AI to create comment replies, and the UX that they've got kind of suggests that you don't need to read the comment. You just click a button and it replies on your behalf. Maybe I've misunderstood that, but that seemed a bit peculiar. Markdown feeds, extended AI providers. So that feels a bit like what Jonathan was talking about, the ability to add in a whole bunch of different providers and more. And is that us done with AI? Oh, no. Here we go. Is this the last one? Yeah, this is the last one this week. This is AI guidelines for WordPress. If you're a contributor, and we now know that more or less every contributor is probably using AI, there are now some guidelines if you're going to contribute to core and things like that about what it is that you must be aware of in terms of AI. So the most important bullet point is the top. If you're contributing and you are using AI, you are responsible for your contributions. An AI can assist, but it isn't a contributor. You have to disclose any assistance that you received from an AI. License compatibility matters. So obviously, you know, if you can't be certain that what your AI is outputting isn't, I don't know, ethical, moral, legal, then you need to somehow figure that out, and a bunch of other stuff as well. That was this week. There's probably another bunch of articles being posted as we speak, which are, you know, equal to that as well. There's a lot in the AI space. Let's just just put it that way. And breathe. Anybody on AI? Please say something. I have to have a drink.
I think the only thing which is very interesting, very quickly, is what it says about the non-code assets. This could be interesting, because what happens if somebody generates? I mean, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but if you generate an image that looks like a Star Wars character, and then Walt Disney comes,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing where it's like, okay, so you're responsible, and images could be generated and put as being contributions. And I mean, I'm using this as a very, very, kind of, this is probably not going to happen. Somebody would recognize a stormtrooper, but it does scream that there'll be something down the line where something gets missed.
Did you see there was a lawsuit somewhere in the United States? It wasn't very, very recently, but it was last year at some point, where the lawyer appears to have used an AI to, well, it turns out, create fake precedent. And they went into the courthouse and they read out this, apparently, this justification for winning the lawsuit, and it turns out it was just completely made up. It's kind of like on that level, isn't it? If you contribute something, you can't just say the AI did it. You've got to. So here they're very, very clearly sort of saying whatever you put in, whether it's an image or whatever it may be, the buck stops with you.
It's the person from West Midlands Police in the UK a few weeks ago lost their job because they used AI. Because what they did was they were looking at Maccabi Tel Aviv football fans for a game against, I think it was Aston Villa. They were a team based in Birmingham. And they were saying, should Maccabi Tel Aviv fans go because they think there could be a security risk based on, the political situation. And the person asked AI all the cases in which there had been trouble with Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. And they said that there was a game between Maccabi Tel Aviv and West Ham in Europe where they had trouble. That game never took place.
Oh, but it was so full of trouble. Yeah.
No. That game wasn't even scheduled to take place.
It's just hysterical, isn't it?
The police officer used that as an example for why they should ban the fans, even though the AI hallucinated that game.
Honestly, this is my fear with the whole AI stuff, like code and everything. Yeah, maybe it's great.
The hallucinations.
It
still hallucinates like crazy. Yeah.
But the hallucinations just smuggle in themselves into whole paragraphs of actual content, and then there's just this one weird little sentence of just made up nonsense that nobody spots.
Okay, I'm going to do another shout out to Gina, which is really funny because she is not super. She'll tell you she's not super technically proficient, but she's a nurse practitioner and she does use AI for some things. And one of the things that she does, which I think is actually brilliant, is, and anyone can do it, is she says, okay, now that you've given me this information, cite the sources. And that's all she has to do is just say cite sources, and then she'll go and she'll look at the sources to make sure that they're accurate. And it's like, okay, if you're going to use AI to do something, treat it like a human being. Cite your sources.
Distrust it. Exactly.
Distrust it and question everything. Whatever that saying is, trust but verify or whatever.
Yeah.
And which I never really understood that saying because it always felt like a contradiction. But that's really what you're doing. You're trusting it to a degree, but you still want to verify. That's
you are basically talking to a 4-year-old, aren't you? When you're talking to AI, you've got to trust it with that level of competence and capacity to just make stuff up.
And this first bullet point reminds me of a few years ago. I got pulled over by a highway patrol officer. I was towing a trailer, and the chains were hitting the ground and sparking on the ground.
Okay.
And when I got pulled over, the highway patrol officer, I said to him, well, I'm not the one who hooked up the trailer. U-Haul hooked it up. He says, yeah, but who's the one driving?
Oh, yeah, it's right? Yeah. Who's the one contributing in this case?
Yeah.
By the way,
good point.
You want to write this one down. It was probably about 28 minutes. I know you're going to play some of this stuff to Gina. Nice little sentence you uttered just there. You say, shout out to Gina. She's not super. That was what you said. I'm just saying.
Oh, no. She is. Okay. Wait. Hold on. She is super. She's amazing. Okay. I knew. Wait.
You go play.
I'm going to be editing the video and showing her all of this. Okay. Because I don't trust you now. So
that's not going to be the title episode. We're definitely going to we want Gina to enjoy the show. Right. Yeah. Okay. So last couple of things very, very quickly, just before we end. If you are a WooCommerce user, you've got a new version, 10.5. You can read on the blog what that's about. Anne Bovlet, who has been on this show a few times, a little while ago, a couple of years ago, she managed to work out that if you wanted to change the name of a block in the block editor and you needed to use a keyboard to make that happen, you had to use 14 different clicks to make it happen. You had to hit the keyboard 14 times. The reason I'm bringing this up, and I can't find the article now, but I think this has been merged into Core in the presumably in the 7.0 release. So just a little hat tip. Things do move, even if they go sometimes very, very slowly. So well done. Props to you for getting that in. Just a couple of things. WordCamp Asia, if you're going to that, there's an article which has come up about things that you can do if you're in and around the Mumbai area. And we are really out of time. But if you've got a Substack account or you've ever set a Substack account up, there was a data breach which somebody managed to, I don't know whether they exfiltrated, I don't know what they got out, but it was 663,000 account holder records and email addresses and profile details and things like that. It's a lot. So if you've got an account over there, you might just want to check what your password is and whatnot. And that's it, I think. Yeah, I'll mention these other things which were just sort of on the screen briefly there for a second. I'll push those forwards into next week. So there we go. That's it. That's all we've got time for. We didn't spend quite as long on the AI as I had imagined, and I'm very glad of that because we talked about blogging instead.
Woohoo! Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, wasn't it? Maybe that's what we should do.
Which is anti-AI.
Yes,
so let's move AI to the let's move AI to the end. So if we run out of time,
let's
just sacrifice that.
Yeah. Honestly, though, if you like I said, if you're like me, it is sucking all the oxygen out of the room. It is really interesting how profoundly important it seems to be up at the top, in terms of like the leadership, but also at grassroots, the people that are writing code and plugins. It seems to be really all the things. So I'm sure that won't change, but maybe we'll change that in the future. All right. It's time for the hand wave thing that we do. If you want to give us your little, yay, give us a smile, everybody smile. Thank you. So I'm going to say thank you to Rhys. I'm going to say thank you to Marc. And I'm going to say thank you to co-host Michelle Frechette. I'm also going to say thank you to you lot. That was probably more comments, I think, than we've ever had. There was loads this time around.
That's great.
And really
it's 2
great.
weeks.
Come
it's
back.
2 weeks worth.
Yeah. It's probably 3 weeks worth, if I'm being honest. But thank you for making those comments. And, if you're lurking in the background and you don't have some comments, we appreciate you being here as well. We'll be back this time next week. So stay tuned. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.